Before we start the video, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell button so that you can receive all the latest summary of the previous part of the series. This will go. Listen to the channel and link to the old part, you will find it there. So I made a comment as in the description below this video. The last thing we saw in the previous part moved to carry out the mission and steal the salary money from the Empire. It starts. The new part is with Officer John, who is in his battalion in Cockbarney and is currently sitting with J-Hold, the commander of his battalion, and the colonel. He is a merchant, and this is a colonel who came from his empire to witness the shop phenomenon that is happening on Planet of the Lamb. We talked about it in the previous important part. They talk to each other, so we understand from their words that the people of Cockbarney are supposed to come on the road to testify. The sacred event for them is the fall of work. But that is not the problem. The problem is that you know that this is the last time the people of the planet will be able to come and see the work that will be destroyed after a short period. The whole valley you go down in, which is a sacred valley for the people of this planet. Music, 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 music. The one inside the battalion means the headquarters, and it's time he leaves him a cup. The team is coming to hold it, and those with him know that they are coming to steal salaries. Either they help them or everyone will die. But Naughty likes this talk, so he pulls out his weapon and threatens them. But she reaches him at the right time and hits the house. A neighbor divorced him. Then they control that. Either they help them or everyone dies. Of course he agrees and moves with them to open the safe for them with these names. We see that John is outside with the rest of the soldiers. Whenever someone asks him if he is coming to Hodvin, know that he is currently with his family and resting. This means that he keeps any danger away from doing it again. And whoever leaves him alone and is a soldier like that again, I insulted them, and they take him to the treasury. And of course there are many soldiers there. But he orders them. They listen to the gang saying that they need his whole family and they might kill him. Then he opens the safe for the team himself and orders his soldiers to transfer him all the money for a boat is in the place. Everyone works, but a cop enters this boat. He tries to keep her busy because they will run away with her. And this means that his role in the operation is general, and they prefer everyone is working, and after a while he can operate the boat and everything will be fine. He also comes to supervise the operation himself, and it doesn't matter to him that J-Hold knows his true identity because he will run away with everyone anyway. But the problems started, my friend, when by chance the communications officer in the headquarters met an anonymous call. So of course he knew everything was happening and he was gone all the time. He gathered the soldiers and took them to the treasury. There, Bonnie began to occupy them and let them know that this was a secret mission. Not more and more. Hood came to say this to them and let them know that it was a secret mission to transfer the money. They have to leave here immediately. But unfortunately he won't do that because he gets very tired and falls. He fainted and immediately started shooting at them. Of course, the rest of the soldiers also started to return the fire. Moments later, the place turns into a battlefield, and the battle continues to work a lot, and from here, and because of this, they fall a lot from the skins of the Empire, and they also fall into John, either a boat and he can control it and kill it. But thank God this number appears, and then they ride a housing, a villa, a cup and a microphone. The vehicle is moving with a cup, but the problem is that as soon as he moves with it with a bag of money, he gets a very serious injury. But despite that, you get the injection as a paramedic and give it to him. And then an anime starts showing him all the coordinates and he is walking in the boat or the ship. Thank God. The soldiers who followed him in the planes couldn't stop him and he managed to escape only from them. So after all this happened, he goes to a doctor like this to treat him. This sleep of yours would have been alien to him for hands. The important thing is that Sakin, in total, sits with his cup alone and they know that they have currently stolen 80 million of his work. And he asks him, meaning that they divide this money together and leave Phil here and run away. In the end, I will give him a chance. He always kills him. Then he comes in and is surprised that unfortunately he also died and the doctor was unable to treat him. But he didn't care much and he knew that everything he did was sell him his right to the money he agreed upon with him, Lucille, so he can escape from here. And you give him a book like this and you know him before they die. He asks that this book reaches thigh. This is the book he took from, if you remember, the last part. And he asked her to return it to him because he would take his money until again. The security president meets with all sector heads, including the leader Miro. If you remember her, let the president tell them what happened and order them to work. Without any rest for anyone, they don't reach the gang that stole the matter. It doesn't just depend on the head of security who at this time, an envoy from the emperor himself comes to them. And this envoy informs them that they must investigate all cases of theft of tools or devices. The empire is clearly in rebellion and the battalion stole just a part of it, and they know the end. What said that any sector head can now access information from other sectors if it helps him reach criminals or rebels before you pass by. you grow up. At that time, Miro is very happy with these words. Why do you think, my friend, that in the last part, the leader always prevented her you get information about his sector? But after this new decision, you go to Miro normally and get from archive office a lot of information about very many sectors, including sectors, so you should study this, of course. He dies of anger and does not know how to show his lineage in general. And we go, and whoever knows the news will the battalion was robbed. He was very happy, but after a while, he got a hormone and she talked to him. So we know who they say that Moon is helping Luce to rebel because she wants to rebel against the Empire. But she is currently very upset because she didn't know that Lucien would steal the battalion. But I told her that they really needed the material to rebel, and that's why he had to. He steals with Mono's fanaticism. That's it. You'll try to dispose of the money, but he can't steal again because security does not reach them, causes them problems, and leaves them. Then she leaves and goes to a party like this. There she meets a friend of hers named Tai, whom we know as he works in the bank that has all the money for the Maul family. And Maul told him that she wanted him to get her money without anyone from the Empire knowing that she took the money, so that the Eye would no longer be there, of course. She has been in the Senate for a year, and no one knows about her life. So he agrees with what she says and leaves her and goes away for a year. We go to College Lucien's assistant, who goes to meet Phil and blesses her for the success of the operation, then asks her and she knows that he has already gone to elementary school, very much so, and you order her to reach this point immediately and kill him because he already saw Flossin and knows him, and this is dangerous for them. She does this, but she reluctantly agrees to what you say and walks. On an occasion in my friend's cup after he stole the money and all this talk took some of it and he came back to the constellation and the planet and immediately went to Marfa. He said it, and the first time they saw him they knew that Tim was the one who reported him before, like what we saw the last part, and currently the soldiers of the Empire are everywhere here. His presence is the biggest danger. I don't care, and I know that he is coming here only so that he knows that he will escape, and he will escape them with him and they will live together in a safe place, and he asks them to prepare quickly because they will escape tomorrow in the morning. Mavo Bay agrees with what he says and they start bringing the bags. So he leaves them for a while and goes to his girlfriend and asks her about Lucian Lane. If you think he doesn't know any information about him, but you also don't know anything about him, he asks her that if she reaches him, she should let him know that their work is over and he should not try to look for it again. He gives her a cup of money that she had with him. He says goodbye to her and comes back when he finds that they haven't prepared anything. So he asks Mava why she did not prepare herself to travel at that time. His companion said that she would not travel because yesterday she knew by chance that there was people stole money from the Empire, and this motivated her very much to continue a rebellion against the Empire here. It's been a long time since she forgot about their hanging and killing of her husband, my friend Callum. So we saw this part what happened last hour when Martha took a cup from the planet Canary to escape it and live in safety. He is not affected by this and decides to leave her alone to do what she wants. He bids her farewell and leaves, my dear. He is now going to live on a planet. He will get to know her and everything. Now it's fine. But the problem is when he once goes out to get some orders from that time, there is a soldier who stops because he suspects him, nothing more. So he tries to make him know that he is not a criminal and that he is just a tourist. But unfortunately, the soldier does not believe him and is being tried like this, and that's it, without any charge. And I do not know who this is at all or against him. So no, he is being tried. The biggest thing that can be said about it is that it is a farce, and he is sentenced to 6 years in prison without any charge. Of course, would make him go crazy, and he couldn't believe that after all this he was arrested. One wish on a real charge, even in general. They take him and a group of prisoners to a spaceship. We know that they will now put them in prison on the planet Narkina 5, and indeed, after a respectable period, he will arrive. This is the case with the rest of the poor people, as there are countries to imprison them, and the prison is literally in the middle of the sea, so that no one can escape at all. The important thing is that he enters his cup with the rest of the prisoners and they meet the prison commander and his soldiers, and the commander makes them know that they are here, not in prison. It's normal in the sense of a prison, but in a factory, and their role is to be with the rest of the prisoners here to make equipment to the Empire. He knows that there are no soldiers here who have weapons, and this is for a very simple reason. They all currently have probes implanted in their bodies that they are tortured with, and in order for everyone to believe them, the leader takes out a device with him and steps on it. They get electrocuted in a very difficult and painful way. For example, after they take this age lesson, every prisoner goes. He is in his workshop and you meet his cup. As soon as he enters his workshop, he is in prison like this. His name is Kino. He knows that he, a very old prisoner, is currently the head of this workshop. They learned that the workshop is divided into a group of tables, and each table has a group on it they work, and his role and that of his group is to try to accomplish his work. If they accomplish it, they will get it a reward. But if they get engaged, the thunderbolt will be his body, and he will also know that every workshop is supposed to have a president. And at the end of the week he will see which workshop it is, a president who has achieved more, and on the basis of that they give the president of this workshop a slight reduction in his sentence, and they let you know that now he needs this relief very much, and that is why he must work with all his effort. So we will take him to his table. So her pussy starts to recognize everyone on the table, and then they all start working. And at the end of the day they go somewhere, they sleep and win. They take a prisoner like this and take him to his cell. They know that it is not appropriate for him to leave his cell at night for any purpose. From then on, he will find the ground is illuminated in red, and if they touch it, they will die, and know that as long as the ground is illuminated in red, then he cannot leave his cell, never. After I know this prisoner, the rules and all this talk, he and the rest of the prisoners ask him if he heard about her theft on a planet, because he is the reason for the theft. This is the Emperor's moon with a new decree, called the Review of Rulings, and the addition of rulings to all mosques, of course. Cassian gets nervous because he is afraid of everyone, but he lets them know that he doesn't know anything about this matter. He adjusts a situation that passes by in a few days, my friend. We see that Cass is currently trying to adapt to his work in prison, which means almost accepting the situation. So away from this prison we go for Miro, who summons Officer Cyril, who I hope you remember the previous part, and ask him about the Casa case and what happened in Cox in the previous part. Saren knows that Casa had a stolen unit belonging to the Empire with him at the time, and he had a part with him that they helped in escape from me and the rest of the police. Thank Alcas for this information and go to the Security Council, where everyone knows that she was able to know that there was an old man helping her cup in a video, and most likely this old man was the head of the rebellion currently. She is working to reach him, and of course this is a disaster, my friend, because this old man is actually the one who is actually the leader of the rebellion currently, Planet Verix, and we see Pix going to check on Martha because she is a little tired. Then he comes, he has a cup holder on his head and talks to her and asks her what happened outside. So she tells him that Martha unfortunately went to a secret tunnel and tried to open it behind the Imperial soldiers so that the rebels could use it to enter the planet and fight it, the soldiers. But unfortunately I couldn't. I fell and got injured. After that, she asked him if he knew anything about him. I know that he doesn't know how to escape from him. And they know that she will go to their friend Buck, who has a phone network, and you will use it to communicate with someone who might know anything about such and such and then leave. But at this time we see that Santa in the movie watched them, and we know that they are here in the first place on Lucien's orders. So he tries to reach them and kill them just like you find her before. She asked for a year to continue with Pix, who goes to her friend Buck and asks him. She uses the phone and agrees to communicate with Lucien. But unfortunately Sam is not satisfied. He responds to her completely. And unfortunately the problems do not stop there, because the next day she will be with his head by chance. They go to Backer's shop and discover that he was arrested because he was on a secret call that was made from a phone. But the real problem here is that the soldiers see it, and one of them says to her, "You're a liar. You're the one who did it. This call was yesterday and it all went by all the time." They arrested her and she tried. But the soldiers caught her and they take it to Miro to investigate him. At this time, my friend, for a sign that goes to the planet Segra Milo, there he meets a man named Sook. We know that Sook is also seeking rebellion with his men, but Nati works with Luce and offers him some equipment that will help him in his rebellion, but on the condition that he helps someone named his mission. And they know that you are also seeking rebellion and have a weak point for a satellite station. It is very large and belongs to the Empire. Its name is Spielhaus. It is very normal for him to destroy it, but he needs Syrian help. At that time, he rejects the offer because he has been having problems with Entedom for a very long time. So he gets upset about his mission, leaves him, and walks away frustrated, very much so. The second aspect begins with this unknown buyer, which means any information at that time. Miro uses the winning card and brings a person named Iffy, tortures Pix so that she confesses. He begins to torture her by wearing headphones like this. He hears very painful sound waves that hurt and make him very tired. She finally admits to everything. She knows that she doesn't know exactly who this buyer is, but she met him only 6 times. Did she sell him all the units stolen from the Empire, and also let her know that his cup was known to the buyer, who was Lawson. So it is clear this buyer was in need, and they ran away together after he returned a few days so that his mother Martha herself could escape. She refused. And here it is, my friend. Miro knew everything she wanted. So she smiled and walked away. She is now going to the security office to inform everyone of the latest developments. And there she finds Celine waiting for her and asking her to turn it on with her because He will definitely be able to reach her cup since he and the buyer saw it. But Miro refuses and orders him not to. He doesn't come here again, otherwise it won't happen well. She leaves him and walks away, then goes to the security office, meets with everyone, and gives them all the information she reached her about the buyer and so on. And she was sure that this buyer was the one who would take them to the rebels because he claimed it. But because no one knew what he looked like, she would decide it will expand to make Soha ugly about his cup, and then it will definitely reach the buyer. But that is not what is important now. What is really important is that the president knows that there is a spaceship that one of the pilots caught and knew he has rebels and is currently targeting the Sabla House station, and thus he is President Miro now that she is interrogating this pilot and trying to get his curse. At the same time as necessary, don't let him know that they are looking for him so that he doesn't take precautions and run away with Miro's agreement, his words, and you leave him and walk away. But the rest of the year is a hormone. So you go to a meeting in the Senate, and there in this meeting attacks the decree reviewing the rulings that we talked about a while ago. But no one cares about what she says in the council. So she gets very upset. She takes some walks, gets into her car, and is currently on her way home. But at this time the driver tells her that her cousin has arrived. He is waiting for her at home. So she gets angry and orders him to take her home quickly. He actually does that, and when she gets home, she meets her cousin's mall, and what we discover is that the important thing is that she asks what brought her here. And she knows that she has finally finished a mission with wait means you visit her because she is wild. And after that you will walk all the time and be executed. They all sit and eat together with Gizman Ben and her daughter Lida. And in the middle of this talk she tells me he visited them several times. You will be surprised. After eating, you ask Amal why he came to visit her. Mal told her that he tries to find a way to free the family's money from the bank without anyone from the Empire knowing so that you can use them and support them with them. She asks her for a filter. Be careful, say goodbye, and leave. After a while, Tay comes to visit. Moon knows that he couldn't free her money because if he did, the Empire would have known. But he makes her a different offer and knows that he was able to reach someone who could lend her any money she needed. She asked him who this person was, and he knew her. It is very important that we get angry as soon as you hear this name. And you know that this is the most dangerous criminal in the galaxy, all of them, and nothing can connect them to him. He knew that, he knew this, but there was nothing wrong with it. Any other solution. If you want to close it, you will think for a while and know that it will take a while to think more and respond. So he agrees with her words, leaves her, and walks. But Casa is on the other side of the stairs. A cup now, my friend. He is still continuing his work normally, but today, after work and before they go to their cells, the soldiers pass them by. They stand for a while in the corridor before they go to the cell. Of course, everyone who is surprised and no one knows what is in it finds the whole towel. Suddenly their lights turn on and off, and no one understands what is happening in general. After a while, he took them down completely normally, and at that time Casa was talking to Kino, the head of his workshop, and they knew that he wanted to escape. So he asked him, and he knew him about the guards on each floor so that he could draw up a very nice plan, and they all fled from here. But he refuses to tell him anything, and they know that this is madness and that no one can escape from here. He warns him and brings up this matter to anyone else and leaves him alone. And between us, the day passes like this, and the next day they go to work normally. But the problem is that there is one of the Casa team members named Elaf is old and cannot stand work and falls unconscious. They quickly take a cup and a kilo to the soldiers and ask them to bring it to him now. Doctor, indeed, after a while, he will reach the doctor and the one who he is also imprisoned, but he is serving in another unit. It is important for this doctor to examine the cover and find that his condition is very difficult and he will not get better. He has a deadly injection to die in peace and be relieved of everything that is happening here. But that doesn't matter to him, Kilo and so on. What makes a difference to them now is that they ask him what happened yesterday when the light cut off his face. So the doctor told them that there was one was imprisoned on the 4th, but they were released yesterday because his term had expired. But instead the soldiers did not take him out and he wanted to work in Unit 2. And when the prisoners in Unit 2 knew that he was supposed to go out and he did not go out, make sure that none of them will ever get out of prison and jail. But what they are doing here is it changes their unity, nothing more, and makes them busy again with sarcasm, of course. This makes a very difference with the Kilo also. No one will ever leave here. So Kino decided to cooperate with his cup and told him that everyone a floor with a maximum of 12 soldiers, because this way he will be able to devise a very nice escape plan. Then, after a while, Kina's laziness goes away and they know that they will run away tomorrow because tomorrow the soldiers will come to the workshop. They will bring down a new prisoner to replace the first one. They can escape from his words after that. They go to the cells and everyone with them in the workshops knows that they intend to escape you, and he knows their cup also. Everything that happened on the second floor. Of course, everyone understands that they will never get out of prison, so they immediately agree to cooperate in order to escape the next day. They go to the entire workshop and start their work completely normal in the middle of work. He lazily goes to a water pipe like this and breaks it. We will know why he did this in the future. But the important thing is that after that he returns to workshops again. There, the soldiers tell them to put a new prisoner in place of a cover. But then he quickly puts a cup like a small pipe in it. The elevator where the soldiers are going down, and they stop, and he keeps telling me everyone to start attacking. Everyone tries to attack the guards, and the guards without them, they would beat anyone in front of them, but they won. Everyone encourages them and they are able to defeat these soldiers and take their weapons. At that time they turn on the electricity on the floor because of the water everywhere from the pipe that the electricity cup broke. Not you do anything and the floor kisses, and all the prisoners take advantage of this opportunity and leave outside the workshop. They take as many weapons as they can and keep circling everywhere in the prison and killing any soldier in front of them until they can reach the control room and immediately install the soldiers in it and order them to turn off the electricity to the entire prison so that they cannot electrify any floor that any prisoners actually do. And here comes the role of Kino, who uses the prison broadcast, lets all the prisoners know that the floor will not be electrified and the prison is currently under the control of their prisoners or their workshops, and they participate in the rebellion. He runs away and does what happens, and in the end they arrive at the prison door, which is on the sea. Everyone jumps into the water with a kilo, which unfortunately, he decides not to run away because he is afraid of the water. They say goodbye and run away after a while. All of this shows that the prisoner's cup was able to reach the shore and they continued their escape on the planet. They went looking for a place to take shelter, and since we were reassured about them, we would die again because it was changing her opinion, and she meets and asks him for money. He agrees and gives her the money she wants. But, in return, he may give his son to her daughter. But because he is a thief and a criminal, as we said, Mom categorically refuses because a passport like this will find its reputation and will make the Empire a passport, and something similar. He walks around angrily, but the head of security is in his office, and you know that after she interrogated a pilot into Krieger after his ship to a place in space, and his men had a small malfunction there, they arrived at his ship after that, and thought that what happened was just an accident and nothing more. They took it and left. At that time, he became the president's assistant, whose name is Lonnie, told the president that they had to go to this ship and do the same thing, meaning they didn't know anything. And everyone responded to this incident because when he finds them doing this, he is reassured that they do not know anything about him. So the president has this idea, they always do this. Leave my color, go to a specific building, and install the elevator. He takes from the elevator a hearing aid hidden in a specific place as well, and communicates from it with a person he understands from what they say. That Lonnie works with this person, and we tell him all the information about the security office in a way in general. This person tells me that you, his men, will complete their mission of destroying a path, but only when they will go and find security waiting for them here. They know their plan from the plane they were on. He is now asking me about this person to warn you because he is a rebel like him, but this person refuses. They know that everything is on the right track so that security cannot reach the general point of saving me. A call, and he finally arrives with an elevator to the place of the person he was talking to. So we discover that it is a wait, and we know that my color, my friend, works for his benefit. Lucent told him all the security information, so he could tag him like this and take care of him. No one can know that he is the one behind all this rebellion. For example, when Lost Maloney finishes, he takes some of it and goes to its owner Sook. Based on it, he asked for his own evil. And the important thing is that he knows it badly that he will help you destroy. But of course Lucien, he knows what will happen very well, and his men know that Sook will not be able to join him at all because of the security. He knows that with his move, his men will finish them off and he will start to doubt their money. But Season knows that he is not a spy, but rather he has a spy there working with him, and he is the one who conveyed the information to him. They know that they will not be able to guess you at all. In this way, security will know that there is someone from the inside. He leaks this information and they may reach his source. He understands the bad situation and knows that he won't know anyone, so everyone knows that they will work in the Empire. But not. Now they bid farewell and he walks and takes a ship like this to return home. But at this time a ship belonging to the Empire appears and stops him because they suspect him. But Lucy doesn't give them a chance and fights with them, and runs away quickly. As for Casa, some of them ran away with a prisoner with them. They stay on this planet to find a way to escape from here until they meet two aliens who look very strange. And the problem here is that these aliens hunt them and eat them. But a cup catches itself and offers them. They smuggle them out, and in return they take very respectable money from them. So they agree to the aliens and ride. They have a cup, its owner, and their plane, and they escape from this planet completely, and go to the planet Yamos, and these teeth remain. But on the planet something very sad happens. She dies and everyone on the planet knows that she is dead. Among those who know her is Santa, and don't forget that she is watching Mava in the hope that she will break the important thing as soon as she finds out. She reports and in turn goes to Lucian's assistant, who informs him of all the information. The college thanks her. She leaves her and goes back to Moon to sit with her. But when she goes to Bait Mall, she finds why this is Bint Mall. She takes religious lessons that any girl should take before marriage. She asks Amol why she takes these lessons because they require a lot of money, because they are far from. She wants money for the resistance. There was a lot of money before that she took last year from the family's accounts for the resistance. But the problem is Imperial Security is currently looking for her, and they know that this money is dead. And therefore she will agree. On this offer, she marries her daughter to his son because he gives her this money and puts it in Malice. The family account feels safe and does not suspect anyone, so it gets very upset. But unfortunately it angers the fait accompli. There is no point in another solution. In general, we go to Serial, which receives a call from Lines. Then she accompanies him and he knows that she died, and that Cass will definitely go to a funeral, carrying a bed very much and waiting for what happens. I leave the house, and he steals money from her safe, and she goes out on her way to Corkab, hoping he is currently holding such and such an occasion with Zane, his owner from Corkbees, and he is checking on him about the conditions once they shock Zana and Marva. Music on a place of imprisonment he gains by marketing it. It is in the hotel, and this is a prison like this, meaning agents the Empire is here. So they knew that at the time of the funeral he would go to the hotel and his head would run away from his words. He knows that at the funeral he will employ all the soldiers there so that he can escape. So he thanks him and they leave him, and he leaves after a while. That begins. The funeral will be attended by all the family and everyone is waiting, but there will be a cup at this time. He watches the funeral to know exactly where the soldiers are, so that he can storm the hotel. When he watches, he hints at Lostab. Is surprised and understands for sure that Loss is there to kill him because they know and it is dangerous, so he decides, and we will see how in front of you. In general, in the middle of the funeral, he takes out the mold with it and plays a video like this before she died. Marva's photographer used to say in this video to all the people that they must resist and fight the Empire. The Empire oppresses them and literally steals their lives. Of course, this makes everyone affected. The decisive moment is when one of the soldiers intervenes and tries to silence him on the video show. At that moment, everyone gets excited and it starts hitting him. There are all the soldiers of the Empire, and literally any soldier they reach, they trample him. And on top of all of this, there is a young man at the funeral, and we know that he is a son. When the Empire arrested him, would come to the funeral with a bomb to move, and in fact, without warning, he would throw the bomb at the soldiers. Chaos is spreading more and more at the same time. He storms the hotel's cup and anyone he meets in it, his face kills him, frees her, takes her immediately, and walks away. As for the situation at False's funeral, everyone is also beating each other in the middle of all this. There is a group of families who can reach Miro, but one of the families takes her from them on the basis that he will keep her, but he takes her to his secret place. And here this person appears and we discover that he is Syrian, knows her, he saved her life. So Miro thanks him very much and tells him that she will bring him back to work again in a year. She prefers the skirmishes between the people and the soldiers are going on right and left until in the end the world calms down and whoever catches up runs away, including those who they escape. The plane is like this, and they prepare themselves to escape with it. But before they leave, he delivers a cup to them with their hands and asks them to escape from here to a very far place. But he finishes some things, so he will come to them and say goodbye to them. And we will see that Lotion, of course, has lost hope that he will kill Cass today. With all these events, he went to his ship all the time to walk on it. But when he reached his ship, they knew the cup, that he knew it was he is here to kill him. And now he is offering to either kill him and get rid of all this, or cooperate together and they complete the rebellion. So of course the Age decides for him to complete the rebellion, and they immediately move by ship. We will see what they will do for sure. But when the second season of this series is made, God willing, the last thing we see is her husband and their daughter Lida. They are currently meeting his son, and his wife wanted to marry him, so he paid to help Moon with the money that would help her more and more in dates. And we will also see this in the summary of the second season when it is originally produced, God willing. But here comes the end of the first season. And certainly as soon as the second season comes out, my friend, we will summarize it immediately. But until that it happens, I can't tell you anything but that. Peace.